Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. It is your favorite dimpled hot mess here, the goth country girl that is still somehow in training, and of course, the lady who always has champagne handy. So, today we're going to be discussing The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armaz. And I'm going to let you guys know some spoilers, definitely spoilers ahead. Some smut talk, aka sexual content, but not a lot if I'm being honest. So, full disclaimer, this one has been on my to be read list for a while. I remember getting this book back in August last year and I kept meaning to read it, but then another month came and then another came, and then suddenly it's April. So, yes, I got caught reading everything else minus this book, if I'm being honest. That being said, it wasn't a bad book. It wasn't. But it was the kind of book that you recommend for people who are still fresh to the romance genre in books. In other words, like the beginning of romantic comedies. Like, you don't want to just jump head in first into dark romance or reverse harem books. Oh no, man. This is like that light dip. This is like the 3 feet in the pool kind of warm up. You know what I mean? So you can imagine my surprise when, after reading other such books as the Twisted series and, reads like Haunting Adeline, that on the overall totem pole of smut, it's it's aight. It's okay. You know, that being said, let's start first with the plot. I'm going to get into it, but let's just start on the plot and overall chemistry of the main characters. Okay. So in Spanish Love Deception, the plot is simple. Lena, our FMC, is one who built up a lie about having an American boyfriend and being so in love that she was going to bring him overseas to her sister's wedding. Aaron, our main male character, and her coworker that she hates the most of everybody, minus that pervy dude, ooh, about being her date, albeit a fake one, is going to Spain with her. Here's the thing. I know that they are sworn enemies, but it still felt like forced chemistry. And for me, it did not really feel like I was going to swoon for them to get together. If you guys didn't already know, and or if you guys want to check out my other hot mess review, I was absolutely in love with the American Roommate Experiment by the same author, Elena Armaz. And if you had not checked it out, I sincerely recommend it. But it brings me to another point that I had no idea that Spanish Love Deception and American Roommate Experiment were even related in any way, shape, or form. That being said, this one was not as good for me as American Roommate Experiment. I could see, the thing is, in American Roommate Experiment, I could feel the tension between them, the want, the gazes, the descriptions, the detail, and what's more, it had more smut and better forks proximity. I mean, it didn't have like smut, like, Little Miss HD Carlton, how's, but like, you know what I mean? It had that like tease, that sensuality that I needed. Like, but back to this. Aaron was so cold to Lena from the very beginning, and I hated the dishonesty between both characters. Aaron, if he really liked Lena from the very beginning, why didn't he reach out with a peace offering more over the years, or at least right away apologize with a gift basket and food? Everything was told from Lena's perspective, and then there were times I just did not want to hear everything from her self-centered and often negative point of view. There were the moments were there, don't get me wrong. There was a ball where Aaron was auctioned off, and sweet moments when, Aaron helped Lena up when she fainted from not eating. But then there was him also barely on time and him always commenting on Lena's neatness. He always got to have a negative opinion about something because of one meeting. He's handsome and overall, quote unquote, perfect in a lot of ways. And Lena, she first, for me personally, she was just so annoying and cowardly. Oh my goodness. I know, guys. Like, comment down below your opinion, but that was my opinion. That was her, in my opinion. One way that is that even though she calls out her own cowardice and annoyance, I'll give her that, she does absolutely nothing to stop it. The auction she'd seen should have been a scene where there could have been common ground for two people. Aaron trying not to get bought by the MILF and Lena just being his savior. I never got to see them on this supposed date anyway before the trip. Lena, I remember after this point, we had never been friends, and it was back to their usual BS kind of selves. I know I can't be the only one who cannot sense this chemistry at all. I cannot be the only one. Other aspects of the plot that I wanted to be developed, I will talk about plot development in this one because it just irked me, is why Aaron had to be such a douche canoe like that. Why hadn't he tried to be better to Lena? And Lena, could you please just pull your shit together for once in this book? There was too much miscommunication in that sense for me because these are two both full grown ass adults, and life, particularly my minutes of readings, are too short to be wasted. Ironically, though, the plot was more interesting sometimes to read than the romance. I thought there was honestly would have been more drama ensued between her ex, Daniel, that stupid professor who was supposedly engaged, although that fiance never showed up. It would have been an interesting twist to see another Lena look-alike. I'm just saying. Also, the family was so interesting. What if Chadro had overheard them talking about fake dating? What if Lena had come clean to the entire family in a cliche speech? I'm just saying because as a single Latina woman for the longest time with a Chicana family, mostly of women, I can say did I can say it sucked for the longest time. Not because they felt pity for me when because I was single, but just because I hated the way they try to match me up with people I was not interested in any means. Plus, honestly, yes, the chisme and toxicas can be super annoying. I have spoken up, and yes, I told them I enjoyed my singlehood, especially when I was still finishing my BA under a quarter system at a university, along with my universe internship and my job. But Lena had a successful job with an apartment of her own in a new country. Lena did not give herself enough baddie credit. And then there was a point in reading that I wanted her to put herself first instead of her family and their thoughts. I wanted her to own up to her mental and emotional health because, as someone with trauma of her own extent, it could have saved her and Aaron from the heartbreak in the third act. I am a sole believer that mental and emotional health is something that everyone needs to take care of before or during a relationship so mistakes of the past don't hurt the present gifts that life presents. She wanted something for so long, and the circumstances between her and Aaron were leading somewhere. From him actually opening up and letting her know about his past to what should have been her trusting in love again, especially ironically from her old enemy. Aaron did prove to be a dick in the beginning, but at last, also, Lena was childlike and dependent on everyone else. But for her, mostly Aaron, Rosie, and a lot of focus was in trying to make her family believe that Aaron was really the one. Like everything had to be centered on making her family believe this lie. So much that I felt that she could not enjoy herself, like, and be herself with her family. Like, Miss Thing, you're visiting your family too. It's not all about the freaking romance. Like, they're gonna believe the lie or could enjoy yourself. Like, loosen up. I can be the one who I know I cannot be the only one who is feeling that kind of vibe. Right. Let me tell you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below because I had issues with this book if you can't tell. I will say that there was a brief moment of clarity where she states, and I quote, "In an ideal world, the best man wouldn't be my ex. In that same world, I wouldn't have panicked when learning that he was engaged, while I seemed to be stuck in time and alone. I wouldn't have felt the need to lie to my family and tangle myself into the web of deception I have woman. Perhaps in that ideal world, the many by my side would be there because he loved me and not because I had struck a deal with him. Honestly, this is probably one of the soul oh, end quote. This is probably one of those soul moments I really appreciated Lena and finally her emotional insight on something else that wasn't her family or what people would say when she was single. so much of this her time and our readers' time was spent running away instead of facing her reality, that I appreciated true and raw moments like this when she was just focused on herself and she acknowledged that hurt in order to like sort of move forward, you know? Aaron, on the other end, did have his moments of surprising readers, and Lena's family with his Spanish, although personally I thought it was a missed opportunity that we as readers did not get to experience that first moment that Lena and her family get to see Aaron and him speaking Spanish. And I know that it may seem that I really didn't like the book, but alas, this is my personal book review. So, and like I said, I have no other issues with American Roommate Experiment, but Spanish Love Deception was not for me. Romance it was, smutty 'twas not. Unfortunately, too much was left to the imagination when it came to the smut levels here. So yes, it was nice for them to get together. It wasn't great if you ask me. Everything felt rushed and Lena was just so on and off. And Aaron, I will say though, he is like the only one who calls Lena out on her shit. He calls her out on not telling her something. This Lena tracker he has is the one thing that is carrying this book, if you ask me. For me, it was like the simpler things that he's asked, like, "There's something you're not telling me. I'm gonna be patient though," and then open those big brown eyes. Ooh, ooh, that was a good line. Very cinnamon roll like. Then I know he's all about Lena. He is. I will give him that. He is definitely all about Lena. And I low key feel like Lena is like me in the sense that people could not be flirting with me. But I will be, or sorry, reverse that. Lena is like me in the sense that people could be flirting with me, but I will be thinking that they are friendly and otherwise not really see the interest in me. But I do like the fact that Lena's assertiveness never sways. And it was in the airport scene, and Aaron was trying to buy her coffee. Keep in mind, this is after he helped her after she fainted when she did not have enough to eat. And he not only drove her back home, but also fed her. He made sure she was fed. I don't know about you, but I'm someone who's easily bought most promisingly with food, especially on a bad day. I don't mind. I don't mind. But anyway, this scene in the airport, Aaron was like actually flirting. He was just like, "You always fighting me. You always resisting me. It's like you like liking me to beg. Is that what you like me to do?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, I love the factor. I like the fact that afterwards, me and her were like, "Whoa, okay." I mean, come on. You can't bring a 6, 7-foot guy down to his knees very easily. I should know this reality does not have many no, you know what? I'm not gonna finish that sentence. God, no. If you know, you know. But honestly, I can't blame her. This guy is someone who is her sworn enemy, and I don't mind a man being more submissive and soft in public, especially when he's over, you know, especially when he's someone who is typically handsome and tall. But I couldn't resist laughing because it was this Instagram that my person sent to me about the usual BookTok where the tall main male character leans against the door frame and then comes in. This short king, like, why can't the MMC be 5'7"? Because I'm leaning against the door frame. My arms are not reaching. I'm like, my guy, my king. I would like to see more short kings too, because it seems like in this reality, most men, especially tall ones, are very much the opposite of fictional men that are written by women. I'm just saying, I would like to see the short kings more in books. I need them represented too. Um, my boo's gonna be like, yeah, about time you mentioned that. That being said, damn, Aaron made sure Lena ached for him slowly but surely. There was a point where they were both in the room alone with no family, and he was just like, "Close your eyes." And she like, he does the book husband wall thing where he pins her against the wall. And I'm not sure how to describe it, but I want to call it a slow burn and word porn because he kisses her everywhere, like the shoulder, the side of her neck, and everywhere except, well, not everywhere, except the lips, both times, both kinds. Yeah, both kinds. By word porn, I mean that devil is spilling his words like poetry, aka Aaron was like, quote, "I don't think I'd be able to deny you a single thing if you ask Catalina." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And he follows that up with like a kiss on the neck. I was like, "You slut, harlot." I think wordplay, for lack of a better word, is something that is essential and something that catches a lot of readers' attention. Obviously, we're both here reading. I think that when I was in the dating field, when I was coming over to a person's place, I hated hosting. So no, I never have brought them over. And the night most men, if they were getting like they don't foreplay unless it's like physical. And I sure as hell don't know most don't know wordplay like with me, like fictional men. So like please, men or women, who know your person reads. Wordplay with your partner. Read a little bit of the tags that are marked on the books because I know they're annotated. I know they're annotated and flagged. Play out some line with them. And when in doubt, use the term good girl or good boy or good whatever, good human. You know what I mean? Anyways, Aaron, for the most, has been the cinnamon roll throughout this entire book. But when they first kiss, oof, you all know I live for a growl and a good devour scene, especially on a good first kiss. So was the process hard, a bit hard getting there? Yep. Was it semi worth it? Maybe. The way he's like, hold on to me, baby. And I was like, oh, I had to get the fan because he's like, I'll give you anything, the world, the moon, the stars. He's like, anything as long as I'm yours. I was like, mwah, yes. Give me the devotion, the love, the growls. So needless to say, there was a tiny bit of smut in this book, but it doesn't start till way later, like exact more like whew, let me tell you, we were 400 pages in and did any dirty scenes actually start? No. But Aaron is the kind of guy who has a voice king and demands eye attention while he also adds in his own delicious talk. And I will admit one of my favorite scenes is when he's describing that he's jacked off to Lena and he was descriptions with the sexual positions of her, all that kind of stuff. And it was hot. I'm not gonna lie, it was good. It was good. It was like a tease, like, it was a tease. It was like a little appetizer of what beginning romance readers could like taste. It's the beginning. The third act, though, oh god, I'm annoyed that there had to be a third act breakup. But alas, what could we do? I was sad for both of them, but I just didn't know what else Lena wanted. She had been through so much trauma in a similar situation, and giving away your heart and trust is a very finicky thing, and it feels like jumping into the unknown. So I understand where she's coming from. I am glad though that she came through to her senses as she was there to support Aaron in his time of need when his father was, on his deathbed. Thankfully, of course, he's kind, patient, and grateful. In the end, they kind of really do make a good match, with his seriousness and her assertiveness, the grumpy sunshine kind of trope. They both had their fair share of mistakes, but alas, who doesn't? That being said, I just want to leave off with one quote that I enjoyed the most from this book. Quote, we just try our best, even when often our best is not good enough. Blaming yourself now is not going to change the past. It's only going to take away energy that you should be spending in the present. And look where you are now. You are here. It's not too late. Alrighty, that concludes my hot mess book review on Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armaz. If you guys are still around, I truly appreciate it. Otherwise, if you guys like this video, please feel free to give me a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and subscribe. Otherwise, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week. If you guys have any other book recommendations, please feel free to leave a comment down below and use the hashtag DimpledHotMessReads. And feel free to follow my Bookstagram, linked down in the description and in my bio below. Otherwise, keep having an amazing rest of your week and stay classy.